guess what? I was tagged. I'm it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Suzanne. Suzanne at Suzannes WW Life tagged me in this Christmas 12-question Christmas tag. So I'll tell you right off, Robbie, you know it. I'm going to tag Robbie over at Frekifitwolf. I'm going to keep you busy, bud. I'm going to keep you busy. She's already tagged Smack Vision, so I wasn't going to tag you anyhow, Brat. You have enough. But I'm going to tag Live Fuller, Love Fuller. I'm also going to tag Sue Slims Down and Joan's Pointed Plate. And I'll leave the questions in the description box down below. And I'm also going to leave links to their channels, so go over there and give them some love too and see what their 12 questions are. So I'm going to be looking down every once in a while so you can put up with me that way. I haven't really paid that much attention to the questions. I watched her video and then I got busy making my fudge, and so I forgot what the questions were. So we'll do them together. Let's get started. Number 1, what are your favorite holiday colors? Yeah, I like them all. I really don't have a favorite. I love them all. Yeah, all of them. They're just all, I don't like a plain white light unless it's in my village. I like a colorful tree. It's kind of hard to tell. It doesn't do it justice. You know, like when you watch the Hallmark Channel, those trees look great. But, yeah, I mean, it looks all right. It really does. I mean, it's kind of overloaded, but I've got a lot of ornaments. But I love it. Number 2, your biggest holiday pet peeve. My biggest holiday pet peeve. That's a good one. I don't know. I don't really have a pet peeve. You know, everybody always says that, you know, like the rudeness of people, but, you know, that's all year round, unfortunately, nowadays. It's sad. Sad but true, but it's like everywhere around. But my biggest pet peeve. Okay, this is not nice. I shouldn't say it. My biggest pet peeve, you know, I feel so guilty saying it even. I guess my biggest pet peeve is the people that come to church. My pastor calls them CEOs, Christmas and Easter only. My biggest pet peeve are the people that come to church twice a year, and then they treat it like they're at some kind of a grand party. And I mean, it is a celebratory occasion, I understand that. But they are not paying any attention to the Mass. They're not paying any attention to the reason that you're there, that, you know, the birth of Christ. They're too busy talking about when they're going to leave, whose house they're going to go to, who's present, what presents they got, what presents they're giving, who brought this, who brought that. They're not paying attention to the church, and then they scoot out before the Mass is even over, because the nuns always told me, oh, you're going to hear my Christmas music. The nuns always told me that if you leave right after communion, because a lot of people do, they make the mad exit, you know, like to leave right after communion. It's like going to someone's house for dinner and not staying for dessert, because after communion you get your final blessing, and the blessing is really the best part of the whole Mass. Well, no, receiving Christ is the best part of the Mass. I guess I should say that. But I don't know. I just feel so judgmental. And I will be honest with you, I very, very rarely go to Mass on Easter and Christmas. I very rarely go to Mass on Easter Sunday or Christmas Mass. Let me get the phone. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back. So anyway, I don't go to church on Easter Sunday or Christmas Day because I get mad at myself for being so judgmental, which is so un-Christian-like, of the people that are there. And I figured that I go every Sunday anyhow, and so I kind of absolve myself of going. Not to say that I don't always not go, but I tend to make a point of not going. So that's my biggest pet peeve, and I probably will get some people not liking that, but that's my pet peeve. I am by no means judging anybody. I'm glad that they've come to church. I just wish that they came in a more spiritual way. I guess that's it. Number 3, do you plan ahead or procrastinate when Christmas shopping? I used to do all my Christmas shopping the last couple days before Christmas because I just love the atmosphere of like the hustle and bustle and all of that. Plus I worked in retail for 15 years and I had worked so many hours that my Christmas shopping was like at the last minute anyhow because I was always working. And when I was a manager, we were required to work 60 hours a week, and so I was always at the store. So anyway, I don't think I'm a procrastinator. I look forward to shopping. I look forward to wrapping. I'm officially done with my Christmas shopping. I have everything wrapped. The only thing I have to get is a few things for our Christmas dinner, and I'm all set. I'm all ready for that. If you were a Christmas elf, what would your specialty be? A reindeer wrangler, chief decorator, toy maker, gift wrapper, baker, or management? Mine would be the decorator. I love to decorate. I don't do it all in one day like I used to, but I do it over a couple days, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And I just love sitting here at night just with just the Christmas lights on. It's just magical to me. It's just magical. What is your favorite classic or a new holiday song? My all-time favorite song is Carol of the Bells. We used to go to Jim's family, his mother and father's house for Christmas Eve, and they lived about an hour from us. And I used to plan our trip about what time we would go because they would put a schedule on the radio because they didn't hardly ever play that song. They play it all the time now. Everybody does a rendition of it. But back in the 70s and 80s, it was not a very popular song. So I would look and see what time this song was scheduled to be played on the radio from the radio station, and then we would plan our trip accordingly to go to Jim's mother's house so I could hear the song. Because they didn't have like nowadays, like iTunes and all that. They really didn't. Your favorite Christmas tradition? My favorite Christmas tradition is our Eve of Christmas Eve dinner. My family, with myself and my kids, now my grandkids, we get together on the 23rd of December, and we call it the Eve of Christmas Eve. I always did that with my kids because we always went to Jim's family on Christmas Eve, and we always went to my family on Christmas Day. So I never felt that my family, my own immediate family, had its own special day to celebrate the holiday. So I started it when my kids were really little, and then when they got older, and then they had left home, they said they still wanted to do it, and so I'm glad. Also, on Christmas Eve, we always go out to breakfast. Jim buys breakfast. I told you Jim's got his money, I got my money, we got our money. It's a whole thing. But Jim pays for Christmas Eve breakfast, and we always go. And I just love like the whole family together in a restaurant. It's just magical. I know that's the word for the Christmas season, but it's magical, and I just love it. And you know, anything family oriented, you got me. You got me at family, as they say. A real or fake Christmas tree? I like a fake Christmas tree because I put them up so early, and then you don't have the needles all over the floor. I do miss the smell of a Christmas tree. I don't miss paying the $50, $60, $70, $80 a year to get a tree that's only going to sit in your room for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then you're going to just sweep it up and throw it out to the curb. So I do like an artificial Christmas tree. I liked my other house in the sense that I had a separate living room and a family room, and so I always put up 2 trees. We just have the 1 tree now. I mean, I have like little trees around the house, but like this is the main tree. When do you put your Christmas tree up? I put my Christmas decorations, I start the day after Thanksgiving. The weekend after Thanksgiving, I start on Friday, and by Sunday night, everything's up. So I'm done by then. When do you take your tree down? Usually on New Year's Day. My son Dan takes his tree down on Christmas Day or the day after Christmas, so if you want to see his tree, you got to get there quick because it comes down pretty quick. Your favorite Christmas treat or cookie? I do like my fudge. I always thought my kids liked my fudge, and I always made all this fudge, and I'd hand it out and everything, and then my kids informed me like a few years ago that, no, not so much. We're not a big fan of fudge. So I still make fudge. I made some fudge this morning, but I give it out to my friends and my neighbors and Jim, and I'll be honest, I'll have a couple pieces of fudge myself. Do you decorate outside? I don't decorate outside, but Jim does. Jim puts all the decorations up. My son Jimmy sometimes would come over in the past and do like the peaks, get up on the ladder to do that because I worry about Jim getting up on a ladder. He's 70 years old. He doesn't need to be getting way up high on a ladder. But just lately, he's been kind of humbuggy about putting a lot of decorations up outside. I have the snowman and Santa Claus that were my parents back in the 60s. So we had a really nice reindeer sleigh with 2 reindeers, and then the Santa sleigh, and Santa was in the sleigh and he had all the toys. And the one winter, we had a really bad winter, and it got frozen into the ground, and we didn't get it out of the ground until probably the end of March, because it was like frozen into the ground because Jim had staked it down. And it just, I think the weather, it just got so weathered that we had to throw it away. But we still have the snowman and the Santa Claus. And what do you always wish for but never got? Well, a millionaire knocking at my door with $1 million check, but now I'd want a $5 million check, you know, inflation. But I have to say, you know, when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot, but I never felt deprived at Christmas. And I've never felt deprived my whole life at Christmas. I'm just so blessed with everything in my life, and I can't think of anything that I could want, you know, other than obviously peace on earth, you know, goodwill to men, you know, all of that good stuff. I really would like that. That's never going to happen. Not to get political, but I wish our country could get together again. I wish we could remember that we can have differences of opinion without hating each other, because my Christmas wish would be that we could go back to the times where just because I disagreed with you didn't make me wrong, and just because you had a different opinion of mine didn't make you wrong either. It was your own opinion. And we live in a country where we have the ability to be able to be different and still get along. And so my Christmas wish, which would be with a peace on earth, it really would, because we live in a great country, and we're blessed with so many things in life. And how we're going to let politics rip us apart and take everything away from us, I just wish that wouldn't happen. So that would be my Christmas wish. But you never got. So I guess that's not right. I guess I picked the wrong kind of wish. Like I said, anything I've ever wished for, I've always got. I really have. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to remind you that I'm tagging Live Fuller, Love Fuller, Joan's Pointed Plate, Frekifitwolf, and Sue Slims Down. So thank you so much, Suzanne, for tagging me in this video. By the way, Suzanne, I'm loving your Christmas memories in London. This was the best thing you could have ever done for yourself, because you just beam. You're just so happy and so joyful and not the least bit down. And this is the Suzanne that I've been missing. And Suzanne, I'm just so glad you found yourself in London, and you're just living your life. You're just living so good. And it's just, I wish you for your Christmas is in the future to be just as happy every year as you are this year, because you're very happy, girl. You're really, really happy. So thank you so much for watching, and thanks again, Suzanne, for tagging me.